steps of that process is, all right, the step number one is, and I'm just going to put this here again. I do a lot of compartmentalizing. That's how I think in my brain. So y'all just going to notice that, right? And, okay. So now this is you, right? And you're like, okay, how do I get started in self-storage investing? All right. This is how you get started. Number one is you got to start working on your back office, right? So basically you're going to go out and you're going to start driving for storage, right? Or you're going to do marketing. Now, y'all all know that have been to my webinars over and over and over again that I drive for storage, right? That's my way that I find it. It just works best for us. And I trained Chris, and Chris goes out now and he drives for storage, and he is so good at it. He's getting to be so good at it. We used to just send out letters, right? Everybody's like, oh, I just want to get a list and send out letters and make calls. And I get that. My students are doing this as well too, and it does work. But the truth of the matter is you get the best deals if you drive for storage. Okay. So, you know, the letters, calls. All right. Those are kind of the three like big ones, right? Now there's 20 different ways to invest in self-storage. All right. There's 20 different ways to market for storage facilities. And that's something that we're going to go over in the boot camp coming up on October 9th and 10th. All the different ways that you can find storage facilities. All right. There's 20 different ways, but the most, like the three ones that everybody thinks of are those three. Okay. And that can at least get you started, right? If you're just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? Now, this all funnels back into your admin or your office, right? Because you're going to need like essentially a phone, right? Because you're going to have to call. You're going to have Google. I say Google Drive, but you're going to have something in the cloud, right? I'm a Google Cloud person. I mean, a Google Drive person. But whenever in the cloud, because what's going to happen is that when you go out and start looking at all these facilities, you're going to start taking pictures of these things and you're going to be like, okay, now which facility is that? I have no idea, right? So you want to make sure that you have everything like on your phone, and then you can just like back it up right to Google Drive or back it up to Google Photos or whatever you want to do. I could say Google Drive or Google Photos, whichever. Everybody knows that like, if you want to talk to me during coaching, all my students know like, oh, I have a deal that I need help analyzing. It's like, okay, share the Google folder with me or share the Dropbox folder with me, right? And then we'll open that folder up and I'll look through and see what's in the folder so I can make an assessment on the deal, right? And that's how the thing is in storage investing world, we spoiled. We want everything to be given to us. All right. It's unlike residential where they're just like, oh, do your own due diligence. On the commercial side, if I'm looking at a deal, then I want everything to be given to me. And you do that by putting everything in just like in like a Google based folder, and then you just share it with whoever you need to share it with. Okay. Anyway, so as you're driving for storage, right? As you're driving for storage, you're going to be taking all these pictures and doing all this, like looking on Landglide and like, looking at the public data and all this kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you're putting all that into your folders, because otherwise everything just gets so, mixed up, confused, because, all these properties just start kind of like meshing together, right? I'm looking at one right now that's in like Michigan that somebody brought me. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, I swear I've seen this storage facility before. They all look the same. I'm like, this is like the same one. But anyways, so admin, marketing, this is to get started. How do you get started? Okay. Looking for storage facilities. Now, the hard part is this part, which is the acquisitions part. This is where you have to learn how to do deal analysis. This is the deal analysis. This is like how to put the offers in. Is it a good deal? Right? This is the negotiations. This is the negotiations. Okay, so that's the hard part. This is what you have to learn. This is what you have to educate yourself on, is how do you look at the numbers? How do you look at the big picture, right? How do you look at like what the competition's charging, what the unit mix is, what the price per square footage, what your total square footage is? How do you look at the overall big picture to decide whether or not this is a good deal? So that's commercial deal analysis. So you have to learn how to do that. All kinds of ways that you can learn commercial deal analysis, right? You can go back on my YouTube page at Stacy Rossetti Teaches, and I got all kinds of videos on there. You can go to stacyrossetti.com, and there's a whole bunch of free trainings, free video, free webinars and stuff on there as well too. All right, you need some sort of like commercial deal analyzer. You need to figure out how you're going to get a commercial deal analyzer so you can just plug the numbers in. Whether or not you use mine or use somebody else's, you just have to be able to run the numbers. Okay, so this is this. You need to have some sort of contract that you can put offers in. All right, where are you going to get your contract from so you can put the offers in? You do not need a realtor to put offers in. You just don't. You don't need a realtor to put offers in. Every facility that I've ever bought I've never had a realtor involved at all. Okay. And and actually most facilities, right? Most properties, right? So deal analysis, offering, negotiations. When I say negotiations, I also talk about creative deal structuring. Creative, I'll put this down, deal structuring. All right, creative deal structuring. Okay. Creative deal structuring. So under acquisitions, you have deal analysis, making offers, negotiating with the seller, and coming up with some sort of creative deal structure. All right. So for instance, the one that we're closing on in Florida, not the one that we're closing on tomorrow, but we're also buying another one. We're also buying another one and closing on that one next month in Florida. And that one is, we got the owner to owner finance it to us. The owner is the bank. All right. So he's seller financing it. All right. So that's, how do you structure that? How do you come up with the terms for that? I just did a coaching call. I'm so excited. Two of my students have got storage facilities under contract today. So I'm really, really excited. One of them actually got the owner to owner finance. All right. It's really cool. And he was telling me about the deal. We talked about it over the last couple of weeks in the coaching calls, but he purchased it for $750,000. It's a purchase price of $750,000. It's 137 units, all different kinds of mix, all different kinds of unit sizes. And it's let's see what else. I think it's 18,000 square feet, something like that. And let's see what else. He got the owner. He got the owner to. It's a nicer facility. It's not like top of the line, or it's like in a tertiary market. It's nice. And oh yeah, he's making $100,000. Essentially, he's making around, let's just say anywhere from 90 to 100,000, 90K to 100,000 is what he's making. So this is considered an income producing property. Income producing property. It's producing money, right? So now he's not charging what he should be charging, but he's producing income. So he's producing around 90,000. And this is in an area that's like it should be even more. Like for instance, he's charging $60 a month for a 10 by 10, and it should be $80 a month or something. So he has a good amount of time spread to bring the numbers up. Anyway, so he got the owner to owner finance. All right. So now it's going to be owner finance. It's $100,000 down. The first year, no payments for 1 year. On this, so he's 750. So he's going to put 650. So he's going to owner finance 650, if that makes sense. No payments for the first year. And the interest rate is 3%. And the term is 14 years. Right? Pretty good terms, right? And so he got the owner to owner finance him. And they're going to amateur, and then he's going to amateurize this over 20 years. This mortgage. So he can amateurize it over 20 years. Okay. Now he has to come up with $100,000. So he thinks he's going to borrow money and he's going to come up with $100,000. But essentially, and he has no money. He's not putting any money into the deal. He's coming up with $100,000. I think it's like one of his family members is going to give him the money. So that's his owner finance terms. And so basically what that means is that the owner is going to be the bank, right? So he doesn't have to go to the bank to get the mortgage. The owner is going to be the mortgager, right? The mortgagee and the mortgager. I don't know what it's called. All right. All right. So that's a pretty good deal. That is what I talk about when I talk about owner financing. Okay. Or that's what I talk about creative deals. And there's all kinds of creative deals. I mean, you could do anything. You could do subject to, lease options, and you could do seller financing as well too, plus so many other ways to structure deals. You just have to know about those. You have to know about how to do all that. That is under acquisitions.